Hello, we are the Stop Wearing My Clothes podcast. I'm Amy.
I'm Kayla.
One podcast,
two sisters. This is episode 64, and we are going to be giving you the Vanderpump Rules mini recap, as well as Amy drops a truth bomb. But before that, we have Nick Viall versus the Love is Blind cast and the Selling Sunset trailer. Thoughts?
All right, let's get into the recap.
Hello.
Amy, is that you?
That's me.
We haven't seen or talked to each other in a while. Even though it's only been 1 week off the podcast, it feels like a really long time.
It really does. And I have been freaking waiting because I want to hear all about your Stagecoach experience. I feel like I've just been sitting on the edge of my seat like everybody else, and I want to know what happened, what's going on, how did it go?
I know the funny thing about having a podcast with your sister is if anything exciting or cool happens or something you want to tell her, you want to, but at the same time you're like, no, you got to save it for the podcast. So I've been trying to I want everything to be fresh in my brain. I got back Sunday afternoon. I didn't do the whole 3-day thing, but yes, 2 days before Stagecoach, Zachary Reality hit me up. I'm sure you guys know him if you're in the Bachelor world on TikTok. And he's like, we're going to Stagecoach. And I've just been really restless lately. And I was just like, yes. And I didn't ask any questions. We just went. And maybe I should have in hindsight, because you're not even honestly going to believe the experience I had.
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited.
Okay, so we go to Stagecoach. First of all, we get completely free 2 nights, Friday and Saturday night, at the Sonder in Palm Springs. Probably the biggest pool I've ever seen. You go to resorts. I've even gone to a smaller kind of one like that, and there's still lots of people and everything. These are huge pool, a little bit of people. It's you and I, when we go to Palm Springs for my birthday, we get a house. Mm-hmm. But I honestly would think about doing this instead, because it's just as good and it's cheaper, and it's literally 5 minutes down from the whole, you can walk to restaurants and bars. It was incredible. Ooh. We stayed with Zachary's friends with Allie from Vanderpump Rules. Mm-hmm. And so we actually stayed with Allie's cousin.
Oh, wow.
Her name was Hannah. She's honestly the coolest girl. Shout out to Hannah for I literally had my own room. How does this happen? I don't know, but it did.
Your own hotel room, or a room within a suite type situation?
Yeah, so it was a hotel room, but there was almost kind of a garage, a slide door in between, where it was almost it was 2 rooms with 2 beds. And Zachary slept in her room, and so I had the whole room by myself. I was living large.
Ooh, yeah.
I know. It was actually probably even bigger than the bed I have at home, so I was even living better than here. And I didn't have a mortgage to pay. But yeah, so we had the best time, and then I didn't have tickets. So like I said, it was all last minute. Zachary ended up getting a free one from one of his connections, but last minute we couldn't find a second one. I was like, I don't care. I'm already getting this for free. I'll just buy a ticket. Fortunately, you can't do a 1 day or anything like that. So I did a 3-day, general admission, whatever. And so we get there, and I don't see an obvious place for will call. And I just we just walk in, and I don't have a bracelet, but I have my confirmation number. I didn't even buy a resale ticket, straight up from the website. Mm-hmm. And so once I was in, I was like, oh, I probably don't even have to deal with it now that I'm in. Let's just have fun. We get there at 4 o'clock. The only reason we're really going to Stagecoach, because neither of us are country people, is to go to Blake Horseman's DJ show that started at 8:15. So we got there at 4, and basically we're just in survival mode from the heat. I know I could go on Survivor now because of the heat. It was a little ridiculous. And, we took our pictures. I dressed up like a cowgirl. It was a great time. So then we finally get to Blake Horseman. You've never been to a festival, right?
Mm-mm. So
there's different stages, and that's how you know, okay, this person's going to be at this stage at this time. And this wasn't necessarily just a stage. It was almost it had walls and stuff. It was almost kind of a tent. They made a mini club. Mm-hmm. So then I'm getting closer and closer in line, and I'm realizing that they're checking bracelets to get in. And so I was like, oh crap, this is going to be annoying. I figured it's going to be annoying, whatever. I'll figure it out and get maybe they'll just let me in, or I'll get a bracelet, I'll show my email. That was not the case. Zachary got in. I was right behind him. They did not let me in, and I was forcibly removed from the festival by 2 men all in black on each side of me. Within 5 minutes, I was in a car. They wouldn't even let me do my seatbelt. They had to do it for me so I wouldn't escape. No, Amy, you would have freaked out. I've been dying to tell you this, but I just wanted to This isn't even the worst
I would
part. It gets
cry.
so much
Didn't they
worse.
take you to jail?
So I asked them if they're police. I go into this thing and I was like, are you guys like police? It was like a little like, I don't know, where they put all the naughty people. And they made me sit down. They took away my phone. I couldn't tell Zachary where I was. They took my passport. And no, I feel like I want to email someone. Like, it's so weird. Yes, I should have gone to Will Call and gotten my bracelet. But like, I had the email, I had a
And
confirmation
you had no idea.
number.
No one even told you. How are you to know?
So I just walked in, right? And so I was there for 30 minutes. I had to sit in this chair. They completely patted me down. They had to check all my belongings. And you know how you like go to festivals and if you have like little bottles of vodka, I put in my cowboy boots, and they bring like edibles, like gummies and stuff like that, just like fun stuff. So I had moved from my cowboy boot, the edibles, into my fanny pack because like we were in, and I didn't want to have to like go. And it was like so sweaty, right? I didn't want it to get like melted. And so they're looking through me, and then this guy, he goes and gets a suitcase, and he's like, do you have any weapons or drugs in your bag? And I was like, no weapons. Because I'm not gonna lie, I thought the worst thing I could do in that situation is lying. Yeah. And thankfully he was chill, and he just kind of looked at it as like, okay, so you're having a good time. And then he looked around just to make sure I didn't have anything to hurt anybody. Thankfully, I got a cool dude. But it's like, it's not illegal, so I wouldn't get like trouble. You just aren't allowed to have them in the festival. Yeah. So I'm sitting there. They are getting writing a whole dossier on me, my hair color, my eye color, my home address, how old I am, my name. And then by the end, I'm like, okay, like, can I go in now? And they believed I had a ticket, but they said, that's not our department, and you need to go to Will Call. I was like, okay, where's Will Call? And they're like, that's quite a walk. You have to go this way. And they were kind of giving me directions. And I was like, well, you guys took me away from the festival in a car, like forcibly. Like, can you guys just bring me to Will Call? You guys like took me. And they're like, no, and we can't do that, blah, blah. I was like, okay. Blake's set's already done at this point. But I was like, okay, Kane Brown is going, like, that's the big, like, the main show, I think, is like at 10 o'clock or something. Yeah. So I was like, maybe I could get back in. Mm-hmm. So I started walking by myself. There's no street lighting. I'm walking.
These are mean, bad people.
I'm walking. It's been about 30 minutes now of walking. And I keep, like, talking to security guards. They keep giving me different like directions and saying, oh, Will Call's closed, Will Call's not closed. I get all the way to the end, and this guy's like, Will Call's a 20-minute Uber drive to like this other place. It's already been like over, like they had me stay there a half hour, and then I was walking for a half hour. I was like, okay, you know what? My last ditch effort, I'm gonna go to Will Call. Some people are telling me it's closed, some people are telling me it's not. And I was about to give up, but this security guard was like, no, go do it. And at that point, so I was about to go into Blake's show, right? And I like, thankfully, I had not drank. I was not under any substance at all when this was happening to me, except I took one about a half hour before the show because I was wanting, like, during the show, have a good time, right? Yeah. So as I'm walking down the street, all of a sudden, I am high as a kite by myself. There's rats running across my things. There's cars stopping, trying to see if I will give them my Stagecoach bracelet. There's other Uber and Lyft drivers where because they have like the signage and they're trying to get me to go into their car. And honestly, it was like, I was doing everything I could not to cry at that point. And I understand now true crime, like why girls get in certain situations where like, honestly, I wanted to get in that guy's car so bad. Because I was just like, you know what? He does have a Lyft thing. I was trying to like go back and forth in my mind. I talked to him for like 20 minutes on the side of the road. And I was like, honestly, I want to so bad. I can't. And I just finally said, I honestly, everyone in my life would hate me if I did this. And what if this is the 1%, I told him this, the 1% that you're a murderer. I can't get in your car.
What did he say?
So this security guard, he just kind of was annoyed and drove by. Security guard saying, convinced, I was about to throw in the towel. And this guy's like, no, you could do it. You could still hit the Kane show. I was like, could you, like, since I was kind of gone, I was like, could you please, like, put an Uber where we are so he could get, like, pick me up? And he's like, okay. So he does it. He's like, you just walk down that block. He should be there for you. And I was like, cool. So this is going back in the direction I had already come from. And so I'm passing all the same security guards. They're all, like, just look really worried for me. And I keep walking and walking. Another half hour goes by. My Uber somehow doesn't leave. He keeps like calling and texting me, and he's actually kind of trying to help me. But so this guy, I don't know why he put in the wrong location. It was ridiculous. So I was probably about a mile there, and I walked a mile back. Mind you, I've already been walking all day long. I'm in these cowboy boots. I have a blister
you've never worn before.
About this size.
Oh my
on my foot, right? Like a foot. And I could barely, yesterday I couldn't even walk. And even my voice, because of all the dust too, it's hard to breathe. So after maybe another about 2.5 hours, I finally get to will call. So I finally get in this car, they take me to will call, it's closed. So then I'm like, I'm done. So 2.5 hours, I'm back at the hotel. And I spent 2 hours at the festival, and we never went back. So that's what happened.
You guys didn't go back the next day?
We didn't. We went back and forth. I just did a podcast, Zachary Reality's podcast. It'll be out this week. Oh, so it'll be out by the time we post this, probably, if you guys want to go check it out. We talk about our experience, but we wanted to. It was just back and forth. It was just like such like that night I had like reached all of my limits of being a person. So I was just like, and then the heat does something to your brain. Found out James Kennedy was playing and Blake Horseman was going to play again, but it was going to be like at 3 and 4. So while the sun was out still. And even Allie had come last minute and Zachary's friends with them. So we were maybe going to meet up with them, which would have been the coolest thing ever. But we were just like, I think both of us, like, this is also the first time me and Zachary have spent like overnight time together. Like that's like a friendship like mark, right? Of when you like, you know, you could go out to have lunch or whatever, but like a trip, you like learn a lot about each other, you know, and how you communicate. So we were still kind of figuring that out. And I think we both kind of wanted to go, but we also were both kind of miserable from the heat. And we were just kind of like, fuck it, let's just go. But both of us definitely have like FOMO and like kind of wish we would have stayed. But it was just because of everything that happened that night. I think my mind was just like at a different place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I didn't cry.
Totally.
I thought about it about an hour in on the side of the road. And then I was like, if I cry, I like won't be able to, I have survival mode. I was like, I have to figure out how to get home. And so that was my stagecoach experience. And that's like where everyone is going to be. I'm so annoyed. Peter Weber was in that little, I mean, it's a small area. It's like called the Honky Tonk. Peter Weber was in there, Rachel and Genevieve, Abigail and Noah.
Out with all these people?
He talked to a few of them, but not too much. But I mean, even him, it like sucks for him too, because he had to be like alone, right? But he like was able to make the best out of it. He talked to Christina Mendrell, which was very exciting.
Oh, nice! I didn't know she was there.
Yes. So actually, that's the only person I saw, because when we were in line, so they probably saw me being taken away. But I saw 2 people. Reality TV people, 1 Netflix reality person, 1 Bachelor person. And they weren't holding hands, they weren't kissing, they were just talking, but they were alone in line together to get a Blake Horseman show. Dom and Christina and Mendrell.
Wow.
Like, I kind of love it. But it's also interesting because I'm pretty sure Christina's going to be in Paradise, which films in June. But if there's something there, I'm obsessed with this.
Could Dom come into Bachelor in Paradise?
I feel like probably with like the different networks, like probably not. But I thought that was kind of some tea. When I saw them together, me and Zachary just kind of like, Dom and Christina? And I know I posted a video like on Monday right when I got back of like seeing these 2 people. People are kind of mad at me. I didn't just go for it, but I wanted to save it for the podcast, guys. I want you guys to find me on social media just so you can come and listen to us on here. So that's why I saved it. People did guess Dom though, but we had like a Dom and Rachel, which would have been iconic too. But this was my second time seeing Dom, and oh my goodness, he's just so tall, big, and handsome. I just want to climb him like a tree. And hopefully that's what Christina Mendrell did, honestly. She's gorgeous also. Like, she's a queen. I'm obsessed with her. I literally
see her on Pink Lily now all the time.
Yeah, because I think she was before. She was at Stagecoach, I think, like, via, like, sponsored by Pink Lily.
Well, they just came out with, like, a Pink Lily, like, desert collection, too. So she was probably, like, promoting that or something as well.
Probably. But, yeah, those are my 2 things of I was forcibly removed from Stagecoach, and I saw Christina and Dom together. So that's the tea.
All right. Well, I don't have anything fun like that, but if you're a mom in this world, I will tell you my horror story for my last week. It was bad. It was bad.
Worse than getting detained while an edible hits?
Just different. So freaking Olivia's my 6-month-old, and this is a safe place here. No judgment allowed. So, I had her in her high chair. I gave her her food and everything. I was sitting right there with her. And then Jack, my 2.5-year-old, needed something. So I just turned for like literally 2 seconds. Somehow she like pounded her hands down and the tray flipped off and she flipped off the high chair onto the ground. I've never in my motherhood experienced that amount of pure terror.
I couldn't even imagine.
It could either be fine or not fine at all.
Yeah.
I mean, and then afterwards
honestly,
I'm reading
the high chair, like it should be able to like easily pop off like that. That should be like a warning on it or something.
Yeah. There's 100% a warning on it. On the side
okay.
says, if not supervised and restrained correctly, can cause skull fractures.
Oh, cool.
She fell. I picked her up within 2 seconds and looked at her. I did not see any point of impact. There was no marks on her at all. She cried for 30 seconds and then she was smiling. I called the doctor. I did everything I was supposed to and she's completely fine.
Oh,
so
well, yay.
We're good.
No, but it's still scary. And it probably just makes you, do you think it makes you like in other just small everyday tasks, like a little bit more like
paranoid?
You know? Yeah.
Oh my God. So then just wait though. That's not even like last week. It was bad. Then I was changing her diaper. Next thing I know, Jack comes in and he's like, medicine. And I'm like, what?
This sounds like a horror show. I never want to have kids.
So Jared had it. Luckily that it was gone, but Jared didn't screw the lid all the way back on the infant ibuprofen. So he just like licked the top of it. It was fine. But in that moment, I didn't know. I called Jared and I'm like, what in the heck? Why didn't you put the lid back on? He was like, oh, it was all gone. So he probably just got a tiny taste. I'm like, oh, thank the Lord.
Oh my goodness. See, I would just be on a heightened state of anxiety at all times. Like I'm already like that with my cats and my own self.
Yeah.
So
no, it's terrible.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's
yeah. So basically, I just put myself on worst mom in the world for the week because it was bad.
It has to happen to so many people, just like living life. That's why I just get so stressed out. Ugh. I can't even be near Jack near a road, or I literally have to have him harnessed to me, or like I have a death grip on him because I just get so scared.
No, and I used to totally judge parents for like putting those little backpack or like little leashes on them.
I would do that.
I say leash it up.
No,
man,
I would definitely
do that.
Because
it's just for safety. Like it's hard, especially when you have 2 kids. Like how are you supposed to protect one when you're trying to protect the other? So
yeah,
it's nuts out there. And then the sun came out for the first time in what feels like a year, and then they all got sunburnt too. So
oh dang,
there you go.
And I've got some sunburns too. But the pool was my favorite part of the trip, honestly. And I would look back, and I still would have done it all over again.
No, that's a good story.
Yeah, it's like getting funnier by the day. That night it was not funny.
Well, how did Zachary feel about it? Was he just like, oh my gosh?
Yeah, it was all kind of a blur, but like as soon as I could, I texted, because at first they did take my phone when I was in the Jeep. So I was like, and the guy next to me seemed chill, like we were talking. I was like, I think they're just taking me someplace to get my bracelet. That's what I thought they were doing. So I texted him, and then they took away my phone. And then when I got my phone back, I was like, that was not the case. And so I called him a few times because I was like, I tried for like 2 hours to get back in the festival. And then I like gave up, and I was like, sorry, dude, like I'm leaving. And I didn't realize he felt bad of like, oh, like he should have gone with me. I did not think or expect that of him like at all. He just said like on his podcast. And sometimes it is, I mean, it sucks for him to be alone in there too. You know, it was just like a disaster, but at the same time, I was treated like a criminal. And I think I've got a little bit of street cred now. Like, I don't know. I might be in the system. So. I don't know where they put all my information. Zachary's advice is like, you should run for it. I'm like, no possible way. What if they like tasered me or something?
Yeah, that would have put you in a lot more trouble.
Yeah, because I stuck with the lie at the beginning with Zachary, and I was like, oh, I had it in the morning, but like by the lunchtime it fell off or something. I hadn't noticed it, but then by the time I was in there, I was like, they're gonna catch me in a lie. I don't want to do that, and so I interrogate me, and I'm a truth. I will not lie.
I can't believe that they did not help you go find it. Like, that's ridiculous. These people, you get their names.
No, I was thinking about reaching because, like, what if something had happened to me? Like, cars were stopping, like, I was getting, like, hollered at. Like, it was.
Yeah, because you were not dressed in a non-provocative way.
No, I looked like a whore and just like I wanted to. But yeah, but I'm okay. Everything worked out. It was fine. I was on the phone with Marcus a lot of the time just in case if something did. But then,
what was Marcus feeling?
You know him. He has no feelings. He was chill.
So he was chill?
He was pretty chill about it. But
I even called 911.
But at one point, I was on the phone with him. But like I told you, like the edible hit me. And specifically, I just get so forgetful. So then I don't know if we stopped talking or what happened, but I just forgot he was on the phone and stopped talking to him and put my phone down like this. And that's at the time where I was asking, he was listening to me as I was like talking to security people, talking to people stopping by. And then I looked at my phone. I was like, he's still there. And I was like, hello? He's like, what are you doing? I was like, I forgot I called you. So it's just like, oh, but I'm alive and I would do it again. If Coachella has a good headliner, like, would you ever go with me next year?
Oh yeah, I think that would be fun.
It's an experience for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Maybe like for the podcast, we could get like some sponsors or something. By next year, we're gonna be Beyonce and Solange.
To be honest, though, I might be more into Stagecoach than I would be into Coachella.
Yeah, I mean, if Blake's there again, I'd be down. But I don't think I ever like what Zachary did. He went to Coachella and Stagecoach, which is like just 2 weekends different, or even like.
Was he dead?
Yeah, basically. So like, I would only want to choose one or the other because that's too much in a short period of time.
Yeah, totally.
Yep, but that's my story, and that's what's going on in our lives. And let's get into some reality TV news. So we've got some I've been kind of off my game on Love is Blind on our TikTok. A couple things have happened. The most important being After the Altar is not only happening, it just filmed and is wrapped last week. And footage of it seems like all the couples are at least there. I don't remember seeing Jackie or Josh. But someone who else is part of it and was just hard launched also, I think, a week or two ago was Marshall's new girlfriend. So she is going to be on After the Altar, which I think will be cool for Marshall fans to see that he's kind of come out the other end.
Mm-hmm, to kind of get a chance to maybe have part of the experience, hopefully.
No, what are some predictions you think you have for After the Altar on the people who will be part of it?
So was it filmed after the reunion then?
It wrapped last week.
Okay.
So yes.
After the reunion. Okay. Oh, I just want Paul and Micah to be back in love, even though I know that they're not. But did you see Micah's reel that she made of them? Like, I'm not over believing in it. And I don't know why I'm so into it, but I am.
I kind of am too, and it's very an after the fact, but at the same time, it's probably anything that the Love is Blind cast posts that has to do with Love is Blind gets some more followers, and I'm sure they're kind of going on a downward thing because like people are kind of over the season, new things are happening. So I'm kind of curious if just to kind of grab someone's attention, you know? But yeah,
I didn't think of it like that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I always have kind of the social media marketing perspective of it. Mm-hmm. I just want to see Bliss. I'm most excited to see Bliss and Zach, honestly, because I feel like we were robbed a little bit of them on their season because he did choose Irina first. Mm-hmm. So I'm especially excited to see them. They're quirky little couple. And obviously I love Brett and Tiffany, but will it be giving the drama with Brett and Tiffany or show us something we haven't seen before? I don't think so.
And Kwame and Chelsea, I'm honestly just scared. I don't know what we'll see next.
They're just wild cards. They're wild cards. I don't even freaking know. So that'll be really fun. We were on the fence of whether that was going to happen or not. Should be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Then we finally have Khloe's baby name, and it's been so ridiculous. Like even like trying to think, how long ago did she have a baby? Like a year ago, like almost. But yeah, even for like Easter, they had like I think Kris Jenner took a video of all like her grandchildren's baskets with other names on it, and then only it's just like so extra. Only Khloe's newest baby just says baby T, and all the rest of them have names. I'm just like, are we really that invested? I feel like we're over it at this point, but we have a name.
All right, let's hear it.
So it is Tatum Robert Thompson. So I love Robert for her dad, and Tatum with the sticking with the T's with Tristan and True. So their kids are going to be True and Tatum.
I think it's really cute. I like
it too.
Mm-hmm.
I think people were people thought she was waiting to tell people so long because people thought that she was going to do Tristan Jr. I know, right?
Thank the Lord, no on that one.
God, it's not that at this point.
Seriously. Yeah, I like Tatum because Tia from The Bachelor, she named her son Tatum.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, I kind of like Tatum for a girl name more. Honestly, I don't really like either, but it's cute for them. Not for me, but
yeah.
I think I've only heard it from a girl name. I think that's it.
Oh,
very unisex.
I don't know that I've ever heard it as a girl name.
Oh, interesting. I feel like I've seen it like on a TV show or something. Oh, speaking of, just a quick tangent. You need to be watching Saint X on Hulu. It's my new obsession.
Okay, that's hilarious because I didn't start it yet, but I've seen like the trailer for it so many times. And so just the other day I screenshotted the name of it so I could remember to look it up on Hulu and start it.
10 out of 10 recommend.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it. It's kind of like a White Lotus, but like a little bit darker maybe, but it's good. All right, so the Selling Sunset trailer came out today, and first thoughts, tell me what you think.
Well, without having Christine there anymore, they had to find a way to get drama back, so sounds like they got it.
Yeah, we have two new ladies, Nicole and Bree, and people will know Bree because she is one of Nick Cannon's baby mamas. So that is going to be a huge kind of smart of casting that pop culture element dropped in there. And it seems like people are being judgy about it. Chelsea, like, what are you doing? And then also Nicole, fun fact, I learned from like my boss at Shared News today because I did a breakdown of the trailer. And Nicole actually was supposed to be on season 1, but last minute backed out. And she officiated Mary's wedding.
Oh,
Mary and
interesting.
Romaine.
Okay, so she backed out, though. She wasn't pushed out or anything like that.
I believe, like, it just kind of didn't work out. I don't know the specifics of it. So,
interesting.
One thing I think that's interesting, like Vanderpump Rules, even, for example, if there's, like, the real friendships versus someone just casting someone in and you, like, kind of, oh, we're friends now because we have to do the show together. There's that big difference. So I think getting someone in who, like, probably knows where all the Oppenheim bodies are buried, right? Because she's been around for a while. Exactly. So it should be interesting. It seems like the main storylines are Nicole versus Chrishell. What do you think about Chrishell being a potential like villain this season, or do you think she's going to stay true to Golden Girl? Like, what are some of your predictions for the season?
Oh, it's so hard. She has maintained that kind of persona for so long that I think it might come crashing down because she has to have. I mean, everybody does things wrong sometimes. So there's got to be, I don't know, taking credit for someone else's sales, if that's actually real. Ooh.
Yeah, and Christine was on a podcast a few months back now and saying that she literally only has sold 2 houses, Chrishell. So it kind of like lines up, but like kind of question mark. You know, there's always a little bit of fakeness in reality TV, but just not sure exactly where that lands on Selling Sunset.
Yeah.
But I've never seen Chrishell, even with Chrishell and Christine, like they've butted heads a lot, but at that table on the trailer when she's talking to Nicole, I've never seen her get so nasty like that.
Maybe like being in a new relationship and feeling more confident in herself and like kind of coming into a new version of herself, she is gonna be ready for anything.
Yeah, and we do see G Flip, also her girlfriend. So I'm excited to see the dynamics of their relationship. And now Mary's in charge. Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
Ooh, I don't know. I think it's hard because Mary has her girls, and so she's gonna have to figure out a way for her to become more of a neutral person to be the boss. You can't really play favorites like that. So I'm a little nervous. I'm not sure that it's a good thing.
I agree. And like someone as myself, I was in retail for a while. I worked my way up to store manager, but I had like sales associates who like became my best friends. And it's really hard to balance that because you have to keep your job and there's certain things you have to do, but then it can just kind of create unnecessary tension between two people. And
Mhm.
specifically because Chriselle and Mary have been so close the past few seasons, and
Mhm.
Nicole officiated Mary's wedding. So whose side is she going to
Oh.
pick?
Yeah.
So we're excited. We're definitely going to be following along. We won't do like full recaps, but any drama that goes on, we'll talk about it, especially on our social media um, platforms at Stop Wearing My Clothes Pod. Oh, and I do have a confession to make. So I said I said Sammy was going to be on this season of the Jersey Shore, and then realized that this week is the finale. And Sammy's not coming. So I don't know where I got that information from. I'm so sorry. But she's for sure happening. Her and they're filming now. They'll be on next season. My bad. I got too excited. Once I saw Sammy, I exploded. But let's go into Bachelor news. Amy?
So before we talk about this, I just want to do a trigger warning for suicide and mental health things. So Nick Viall kind of went at the Love is Blind cast that has come forward with being mistreated by production. Danielle specifically feels like the psychological testing that she went through should have made it so that she shouldn't have even been casted onto the show, as well as when she was talking about how she was feeling during filming, where she did not want to be isolated. She was not in a good place mentally. They isolated her anyways and did not protect her or give her the resources she needed. And her now ex-husband has come out saying, validating what she said, as well as saying his own mistreatment. And so a big group of them is suing the Love is Blind production, or like Netflix and the bigger production people. Nick Viall went to his podcast to talk about it, and he really just kind of made fun of mental health issues as well as suicide. And basically, if you have ever had thoughts of suicide, then you should never be on a TV show, kind of just like saying, almost like making you less of a person just because you've had thoughts like that before. Um, it wasn't really a good look, especially since he really is like a advocate for mental health and wants to go back to school to be a therapist. It's like, that wasn't the best move for him to make. I think he should have definitely stayed more neutral. Maybe he was just trying to like have fun with it, or like make a joke, but it was just, no, I know, you know what I mean though, like in a
Yeah.
podcast, like just kind of making light of a situation or something. But that was not appropriate.
Yeah, and Danielle and Nick went after them on the Instagram stories, saying how he should be ashamed of himself. They just went off like, this is for Nick Viall. Nick Viall has blocked us. He was not responding. And I think it is like, I watched the clip now. I didn't want to, I'm kind of late to this controversy. And I think Nick Viall just stuck his shoe in his mouth, stuck his foot in his mouth, stuck his
Hmm.
foot in his mouth. And he always, I think he likes saying controversial things. I think the more we're talking about it, right? And that's only more publicity for him. So I don't think he gives
Hmm.
a crap about it. Many people are
Yeah.
saying because he does have such close ties with Love is Blind, specifically the PR person, that's how he gets the first interviews from all of Love is Blind. So
Mm.
it's like, not like he's working for him, but he definitely has motives of he would want to protect Love is Blind, the Love is Blind franchise. But just the way he's talking about reality stars, like he's so like above it, is a little
Like, dude,
interesting.
that's how you got your fame, dude. Like,
Yeah, like yes, he's
that's.
built a brand and I respect that. He's so just
Mhm.
probably it's just I think it's hard for me to get like riled up about it like some people are right now, just because I don't
Mhm.
take anything he says super seriously. I
Oh,
guess.
me too, actually. I agree with that.
Um so yeah, obviously mental health is not a joke and we both have our personal experiences with it, and I consider us like, mental health advocates. And so Nick
Mhm.
Viall should have known better, and he shouldn't have like said the things he said, specifically like someone from his season, I believe, has, passed from suicide. And, there are people that he, just being so close to reality TV and the people who have come out of reality television, dealing with the mental health, I just felt like he should have had more empathy towards it.
Yeah, especially because mental health or not allowing them to have food or water, not allowing them to stay together, like doing weird, sketchy stuff still is not a good look for any sort of production for a reality TV show. I get it that it adds to the drama, it adds all that, but still, there has to be a line and people need to be held accountable for that.
Yeah. And I get you have to pass a psych evaluation for reality TV, but I think just saying that if you have any type of mental illness, you should not go on reality television. I'm sorry. I'm the most mentally ill of them all, and I plan on being a reality television star. So, Nick, I'm coming for you. No, but so I just want to make sure this is a big thing that's going on. So I wanted us to touch on it, but I think that's why I'm not so fired up as other people. It's just I don't take him seriously.
Also, I think it's kind of an odd coincidence that then within the next week of this all happening, he's on the Squeeze podcast with the Taylor Lautners, with Natalie, talking about why you should go to therapy and mental health, and there's a trigger warning for suicide as well as sexual abuse and different things like that. So it's just like that's odd timing for him to be coming out talking about that too.
You're right.
I mean, I don't necessarily think they're connected, but I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. So trigger warning done. We won't talk about bad things again for the podcast. Back to fun. All right. We actually have some very exciting Bachelor baby newses, and it has to do with another B word.
Who?
The Beccas.
Oh,
we haven't. It's been forever because we've been off for a week, but I wanted to make sure we touched on because Becca Kufrin and Thomas from Bachelor in Paradise are having a baby.
I'm shocked by that.
Yes,
shocked. I did not see that one coming.
Me neither.
I'm so happy for them though.
I go back to when the Bachelor in Paradise trailer came out, and we were freaking out over just a 2-second clip of Thomas and Becca on a date. Do you remember that? We were like, no, protect Becca at all costs. Because we love her, right? And Thomas had got such a bad edit. But, who knew that they were going to have one of the Bachelor in Paradise babies?
Mm-hmm.
So excited for them. And then also, Becca Martinez is having her third baby. So this is called Becca Bachelor Baby News.
And actually, I just saw, I don't know if anybody actually knows this OG of a person, but Drew from Desiree's Bachelorette season is engaged and he's going to be a dad soon as well.
I did see that. I have such a hard time with people that go on Bachelor in Paradise afterwards, remembering them, but I did briefly see that.
So if you are an OG fan, you might remember Drew from Desiree's season, but yay.
Yes, very excited. And then we have, this is fresh off the press, Clayton was on Clickbait just recently and said who from Zach's season he has his eye on for Bachelor in Paradise. Who do you think it is, Amy?
Mercedes?
Ooh, no, but
I could see them shaking their booties together.
But when I say this, I think it's going to click for you. Jess.
Oh, yeah. I see that
For some reason, that makes so much sense to me. It's really looking like we're going to have more leads on the beaches of Paradise than ever before. I'm almost certain we're going to see Clayton, Michelle, and Rachel.
And Clayton and Rachel there together. That's awkward.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, Avon's going to go too, I'm pretty sure. So we're on is Rachel and Avon going to go on a date? I'm pretty sure Rachel will bring along Genevieve. I mean, it's going to be stacked. There's even rumors that Nate, Michelle's ex-fiance, is going to go on. They've never had ex-fiancés on before. And I mean, Rachel and Clayton aren't ex-fiancés, but they're pretty darn close.
Oh, God.
The only thing is I don't think Susie is going to go because
I don't think she would either.
Well, I think she wants to. She was actually on Zach Reality's podcast, but she does videography and photography for weddings, and she has a wedding right smack dab in the middle of Bachelor in Paradise. Mm-hmm. So I don't think it's going to work out.
Yeah, bad timing.
It would have been maybe too messy. Rachel, Clayton, and Susie. That would have been mean.
Well, yeah, because it also kind of does suck when those people are all together, because then you have to, it makes it's like you can't leave the past in the past and, like, move forward.
Yeah.
So I hope it doesn't, like, kind of bite them in the butt for having all these people
Yeah, it should be
too.
interesting. It definitely, with more leads, is a lot more complicated because Clayton
A
was
lot more
on
drama,
Michelle's
that's for
season.
sure.
Yeah, exactly. So I personally felt like, yeah, I watched Bachelor in Paradise. I enjoyed it last season. I think it was maybe more of a flop than it ever has been for me personally. I
Mhm.
think this is going to make up for it. Might be the best Bachelor in Paradise we'll ever have, and I cannot wait.
Oh gosh, I'm scared.
I'm excited.
Okay, so did you see that Katie posted like a reel of all the girls from Zach's season out on their girl trip? Like, I love them. I love them
They're the
so
coolest.
much.
They're one of my favorites, like, casts we've had in a very long time. And so they were all in Miami the weekend of Stagecoach, which I was bummed because I just like figured, like, they're the newest of Bachelor Nation, right? I thought
Mhm,
they would be like a girl squad at Stagecoach because that's kind of the rite of
mhm.
passage of Bachelor. So when I saw they were all in
Yeah.
Miami together, I was a little bummed. But it seemed like they
Mhm.
had the best time. Ariel, Katie, Jess, Mercedes, Gabby. It looked amazing. And they ran into Future, the rapper, and they have like a bunch,
Oh,
like,
yeesh.
they were living their best life. I love
I have
them.
loved to be a fly on the wall though of like Zach and Katie's relationship. Like, how does that work exactly? Just because I mean, I guess they just have to separate it, but, like, is she allowed to talk about him? Just with Gabby specifically, I feel like that'd be kind of hard. I mean, I know she's probably just gonna have to, like, not in a brood way, but get over it just because if they wanna maintain that friendship, but that'd be hard.
It seems in past seasons, like, the girl groups that come out of them don't ever include the final pick. So I think it
I
just
know, but
shows
this one, she's
another
pretty, like
it shows another level of
sorry.
maturity I think these girls have.
Oh, yeah. The whole season they showed that, so why should we be surprised?
Yeah, because actually Katie was the last one there because her Spirit Airlines, she called out Spirit Airlines, canceled her flight. Same. Spirit Airlines
Well, Spirit
sucks. They did the same thing to me when I went to Vegas. But Zach was the
yeah,
one
you
who
should just know better than
I
to go
know,
to
but
Spirit
sometimes those
Airlines, sorry.
prices are just like, come
I'd
buy
rather
me,
live and
buy
pay an
me.
extra.
Yeah. But Zach came through and set everything up for her, found her another flight, and got her there. They seem really
Aw.
cute.
No, I'm for it.
Mhm.
I'm more for the girl group, but I'm still for the relationship as
Yeah,
well.
totally. So it should be interesting from that group who goes on Bachelor in
Oh, do you
Paradise.
think Gabby will go?
It's possible. It's very possible. So
If she doesn't go this year, she'll go in the future, unless she gets in a relationship.
yeah, I think for sure Kylie and Mercedes will go. I think Kat, like, I don't know. It's gonna be stacked.
Yes, right?
Jess, I mean, has to go. I could not see
Yeah,
her not coming. Christina
yeah.
Mandrell has to be there unless her and Dom are starting a passionate love affair, which I'm also down for. But we need to see her at the beach. That would have been such a missed opportunity.
Yeah,
I feel like
totally.
you're in a weird limbo probably if you're like a Christina Mandrell or the other people of like, what if you meet someone, but then you're on track to go to Bachelor in Paradise, so you have to like keep it casual, but like what if you know what I mean? I feel like there's been like a kind of a weird
Mhm.
balancing act there.
Well, remember with Demi, they brought in that girl? Maybe they'll bring in Dom.
Ooh, I like that.
That was someone random, like, that wasn't
Yeah. Speaking of Demi, a trailer just came out for Bachelor in Paradise Canada, and Demi shows up.
I love
I
it.
know, it looks so good.
I didn't know that she had autism.
Yeah. Yeah, she's
That's
very
is that a newer thing that she's been open about? Because
yeah, I think
it
she's been in a lot of self-discovery the last few years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for
Interesting.
sure. So, that really piqued my interest, but I cannot justify it to myself to get another streaming service. I can't.
I know.
And then we're gonna go doing something a little different. We're gonna do our little mini recap. It's gonna be Vanderpump Rules, and let's do it. All right, this is our first week covering Vanderpump Rules. We're in the last kind of stretch with the season. I convinced Amy to watch season 10, so we're representing of the OGs over here. I've watched in season 1, and then also the Scandoval new listeners. Amy fits in that category. And before we get into it, I want to just get roughly kind of some of your opinions on Vanderpump Rules and the season so far.
Okay.
You agree to let me to say let's cover it because you are not a Bravo girl. This is the first time you're letting us cover a Bravo one.
I think that I've never given it a chance, and I'm kind of punching myself in the face for not now because it is amazing. I obviously don't know like Real Housewives on all that, how much I would like that, but Vanderpump Rules specifically, I don't know, gives me Hills vibes, I guess. It's just like definitely, I don't know, I just like it for sure. And coming in with this whole Scandoval thing, that's what hooked me. So Kayla did Bravo banter for a little while at the beginning of that. You should go listen to those 2 episodes, right?
I think I might have done 3. I need to do Bravo banter. If you guys want Bravo banter, just let me know.
Okay, well, I thought it was amazing, and I had to edit it, so obviously I listened to all of it, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I have to watch this. What is gonna happen next?" I was, like, living for it, and so then watching it now, starting at the beginning of season 10, I'm just like, "These are terrible humans. Like, what in the heck is wrong?" And, like, knowing already what is going on during the episodes of like when Sandoval and Raquel started being together, and then they're like talking like, "Oh no, we would not," just like, what? How you can't come out of this being not the devil. Like, there's no way.
It is beyond. And fun fact, Tom Sandoval and Sheena, their first TV appearances were on The Hills.
Oh, that's funny.
So it's kind of a connection there. You know, but yeah, it's kind of wild. And I'm curious, like, aside from Scandoval, do you have like a favorite so far?
I really like Lala.
She is so funny, right?
Yeah,
She
I
can
really,
be a
really like her.
little bullyish. She goes on the line for me, but at the same time, she's normally right.
Yeah.
I think Lala and James like are the core of that show right now.
I agree with that. James, though, I'm just like, dude, you are an alcoholic and you need to realize that you are and go back on the wagon.
Yeah,
Because
James, though,
he's going to lose Allie.
Yeah. No, I'm worried about that too. Because I do think he really loves her. But his one-liners, I just think he is the best TV. And
when he threw that drink at Schwartz and just goes off at the beach, I'm like, oh my Lord.
But the thing is, just because like I'm mad at Schwartz for Scandoval reasons, so I was like, and for Katie reasons, just how he's handled this whole divorce. And I was just like, even though I didn't understand why James threw the drink on him at the time, I still think Schwartz deserved it.
Yeah. Totally.
Right, so
and Raquel literally needs to get a award for acting, because I'm like thoroughly would not. I understand why no one believes it when people are talking about it to a certain extent, because she lays it on thick of the like niceness to Ariana. Like Ariana being like, she's one of my closest friends. I'm like, no.
I know. I think this newest episode that we're going to recap was the hardest to watch, because otherwise I was like, oh no, like living for the drama, like no. But now that it's Ariana is now part of the narrative, she was gone last episode when things really took it up a notch when Scandoval was concerned, and having her be around for it all, and also seeing like Raquel's interviews, just saying how these are the people that mean the most to me. These are like my everything.
Yeah, they're my forever people. Like, how do you think this is going to end? Is your plan to just keep sleeping with him forever and nobody finds out, even though everybody pretty much already knows? Like, what? Like, I don't know what her end game was, or was like, is she delusional? Like, I don't understand.
I think she was really. Tom Sandoval is a good talker. He has a presence. He's been an OG on the show for a while. He's a lot older. I think, she's very easily influenced. And I think Tom Sandoval could say jump and she would say how high.
But what at this point, were they in or do we know, like, were they in a relationship at this point? Or was it just like, oh, we're sleeping together every once in a while?
Relationship is a weird word, but we do know that they are consistently hooking up at this time, and that Schwartz knows.
Well, yeah, because they stayed the night at the house together.
It's so
on
ridiculous.
The couch, and then Ariana's like, you should have just gone upstairs. It's just like, oh, when she's watching this back.
Yeah, and also seeing Sandoval just flounder with the story like a million times, like it's just so sketch. It wasn't even a red flag that Raquel stayed the night. It was the weird unnecessary lying about it. That was
for
the sketchy
sure
part. So the episode opens up and they are at like a farm glamping thing for Raquel's birthday. And two most jaw-dropping moments of the season, and this was one of them, when they are all at the table eating, and Schwartz, who knows Tom and Raquel are hooking up, says, Brock and Tom, watch out, Raquel has a type, men that are taken. And then they all laugh, including Ariana.
I know, knowing it makes it worse. I mean, because it kind of makes sense. Like, I get why everyone laughed because, like, there was just that whole drama of her with that other married dude. But, like,
you can't make
he's
this
got
shit
some
up.
cojones on him. Just
like,
say that?
I know Schwartz always gets the, like, oh, I'm a little puppy dog. I cover my mouth when I talk. I'm so anxious and nervous, blah, blah, blah. No, you're what is it, a wolf in sheep's clothing. Like,
yeah, because, like, he says terrible things to Katie, like, at that dinner at Sheena's wedding, like, terrible things. She starts crying, and he's like, Bobs, why are you crying? I'm crying because you were just an asshole. Like, what are you talking about? He just wants to play the victim all the time.
It's something you might know of, like, another even more reason that Schwartz should have gone straight to Ariana is, like, even, like, Schwartz and Ariana have their own bond. And Ariana was actually one of his groomsmen at his wedding with Katie. She was on Schwartz's side, not Katie's, like, on the wedding party. Like, it's just wild. And poor Sheena, specifically last week's episode, she kind of tends, like, even since season 1, she's always on the wrong side accidentally, but just goes so die hard for it with, like, the purest heart. And then she finds out she's being, like, fucked over. And that's what's happening right now.
Yeah. Yeah, the preview for the, like, finale when she's, like, talking to Sandoval, I think. It's just like, why are
Sandoval's like, I was gonna break up with Ariana, and she's like, but you didn't. Instead, you fucked your best friend. Like, good for you, Sheena. Like, absolutely insane. Speaking of the trailer for the finale dropped, but only because it was actually leaked minutes before a different version of this trailer. So I'm guessing before it was the final version. And I think Bravo just, like, fuck it, like, and posted, because it was like a next week on Vanderpump Rules, but for the finale. So we weren't even supposed to see it for, like, another week or so.
So I have a question. So the way that they're editing it, though, like, they're editing it knowing that Raquel and Sandoval were together that whole time.
No.
Like, they're playing into it. No?
Not until you see. My understanding is they did not even do any editing. Andy Cohen had already seen the entire season in full. And they had wrapped filming. And then Scandoval happened. And that's when they turned the cameras back on. They bought 5 more episodes. And they went back, and we're going to see all how it happened in real time.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense, because I was like, it would make you think that they knew the way that they're editing it and everything. So the way that this, I don't know if it was like a previously on or whatever, but when Sandoval said nothing happened between Raquel and I, when, like, physically or whatever, when they asked.
Lies.
I literally in my head was like, remember when Khloe Kardashian was watching that and Tristan was saying something? She's like, liar! I literally did that, because I'm like, that was a freaking Khloe moment, because that was just like, no, dude, you straight up said that? No.
I know. Ugh. It's incredibly wild. And you kind of said, like, you wouldn't even believe it. And the thing is, there's a big portion of people that do not believe in Scandoval whatsoever. They think it was a big PR stunt to get Vanderpump Rules on the map, which it is now.
It worked.
As an OG fan, I did not watch seasons 8 and 9. We're on season 10 right now. I had stopped. And in my head, I was like, season 10 will probably be the last. They'll wrap it up. 10 seasons is a good way to do it. It's kind of lost relevancy. And then this happened. So I get why people think that, but at the same time, or they believe it happened, but they don't believe that the editing was done. They that the editing people didn't know. But I know for a fact, friend of a friend who's connected to all this, that this is all real. This all happened. And wholeheartedly, I believe that person and myself in my judgment. And it's 100% real.
It's just insane.
Yeah. So it's wild. So that was my number one jaw-dropping moment. Do you have, like, a jaw-dropping moment from this week's episode?
I wouldn't say jaw-dropping. I would I would not
You
say
said jaw-dropping.
I
I love
wouldn't
that.
say jaw-dropping, but every time Ariana goes on there and she's just like, "I'm having the hardest time. I'm barely holding on. I'm just like, I just wanna find her and hug her." Like,
It's kind of
now,
Mhm.
it's just like, oh.
It reminds me
So
of those, like, guys who, like, cheat on their wives while they're oh,
it's okay, you could
sorry,
just
I
say.
didn't make the connection.
I wasn't pregnant.
Okay, well, okay, I'm just gonna say what I was gonna say. It kind of sorry, I didn't sorry. Um, let me get my bearings really quick.
I'm gonna
Sorry.
keep all this.
Okay. Um, so it kind of reminds me of those guys who are scumbags and cheat on their wives while they're pregnant. And it's almost like, yeah, Ariana wasn't pregnant, but it's like when you're at your most vulnerable or having like the heart, like, you're going through some real things. And this person lost their grandma, lost their dog, who was her best friend, and all while her boyfriend is cheating on her with like the
Yeah,
best friend.
so let's back it up too a little bit. So the minute that she found out that her grandma died, she's at home. Sandoval goes to a freaking party and she calls him and is like, "Please come home. Like, I want you to be home with me." And he's like, "Oh, sorry, I don't have a ride." Then Lala comes in and
Praise
later on
Lala.
and says, "Sorry, that's not the case. He chose to stay, friggin' hung out with Raquel all day." So that's one. Second, then she leaves to go to her grandma's funeral and all that stuff. And then he has Raquel come over and stay the night. You have no soul. You are a terrible person.
Yeah, and like Sandoval should have gone back with Ariana and her family. Like all of this was just and the way Lala, you're not an OG, so you wouldn't know. But at the beginning of the episode, when Lala and James are talking, word for word, there's a TikTok out there. I'll actually see if I can link it or send it to you. Side by side of when everything was going down with like Kristen and Tom Sandoval left Kristen for Ariana. Everything that Tom said about Ariana is like almost side by side exactly what he's saying about Raquel now in season 10 of how they make me feel, the sunsets, the kiss, and then also specifically how he treated his current girlfriend Kristen, or now Ariana, being like, "Oh, it was because we weren't intimate. It was because of this. I had broken up with her, but she just wouldn't let me." All of this exactly from season 2, but just the different people. So it's just like his go-to, and it's absolutely insane.
Yeah, don't friggin' be in a committed relationship if you can't keep it in your pants, dude.
Actually, what do you say like next week on Vanderpump Rules? Like, what did you see on there that you're most looking forward to? What do you think's gonna happen next week? Or any final thoughts?
Well, one final thought is it also pierced my soul when Ariana was describing Raquel as kind, loyal,
Right.
a delight. I'm just like, she is just gonna get her face pummeled in.
Oh
And
my
it's just
God,
like
Amy.
I just feel for her. What?
I didn't connect any of this with you.
No, I know. This is a traumatic thing for me to
I
talk
am
about.
so sorry. I did not connect it till this exact moment. Is this okay?
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. Let's hear it, you guys. So my husband cheated on me with my best friend when my son was 6 months old. So I am like feeling for Ariana in a way that maybe some people can't even fully. And obviously we have worked through it. You know, I'm still married and that's
He
a
is
whole other
not Tom
story to itself.
Sandoval.
He is not at all. And it was not a reoccurrent thing either, but
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
But basically, yeah. So this is like stabbing me in the heart as I'm watching this. I'm like, and like, why do people think Raquel is this wonderful person? She's crap.
She's
like,
the
no,
worst.
the worst.
Yeah. So next week we see Ariana opening up about her and Sandoval's sex life to Raquel.
Yes.
I could not believe it. The type of sociopath, like my conscience, it would not allow me. it would not allow me to have that conversation with a girl whose boyfriend I'm sleeping with.
I don't understand how Ariana and Raquel are getting closer and closer and closer, probably as her as Sandoval are. Like, I just want to know, because like she hasn't been on a podcast, like nothing like that. Do we know like what is? I know she did that little statement, but like, do we know what she's thinking? Like during all
like
this,
Raquel at that time.
Raquel, yeah.
Like I said, I think she's under Sandoval's spell, and I think they both think it's love. I think it's an infatuation.
So does she think that he's gonna leave Ariana for her though? Like, cause like, what's the end game in this?
What one of other Sandoval's MOs, the past times he's cheated, is telling the girl that he either broke up with the girlfriend or is like going to. It's like, you know, I think Raquel knows everything.
I mean, also, he could easily say Ariana's going through a really hard time right now. It's not a good time to break up with her. Like,
said that too on many interviews. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
but like, what a freaking low blow to like, okay, I'm going through a hard time. So keep it in your pants then until I'm done with my hard time and break up with me.
And the thing is, there's just so many more rumors, like Miami Girl aside from season 2, that he has been cheating on Ariana this whole time, off and on.
Oh yeah, and cheats on Raquel.
Yeah, there's that rumor too, and that I fully believe. And even Kristen Dowdy went on Watch What Happens Live after this most recent episode of Vanderpump Rules, and like even said another specific friend of a friend who hooked up with Sandoval. You know, it's just these guys. Thankfully, Jax Taylor changed. Who would have thought Jax Taylor changed out of all of them? Maybe us being so hard on. I mean, sorry, this is not kind of more for the OG people. All of us being so hard on Jax Taylor, I feel like we almost did him a favor. Because he had to deal with it, and now he's grown up, married to the love of his life, has a great family, and is doing well. And Schwartz and Sandoval are honestly worse than they've ever been, because none of us have held them accountable. They've somehow skated, even though they were doing all the same things as Jax. Jax is so validated right now, because he always got the shit end of the stick, and he's like, you guys do the same thing, but it's always me. That's actually what happened. But, you know, Scandoval got to him. So, I mean, it's going to be crazy. I'm trying to think. We have a week or 3 weeks till the finale. I believe May 17th is the finale. Then we have a 3-part reunion.
The preview to the finale where it's all Sandoval and Raquel like cozied up on a couch. I will reach in there and punch them both in the gonads.
I know on good authority they kiss on camera. Yeah. It's going to be wild, guys, and we're going to all follow along together.
So we will have new episodes out every Friday.
And during Bachelor off-season, we'll be covering Vanderpump Rules as Season 10 comes to an explosive end, as well as still covering all of reality TV news. Selling Sunset's coming up, The Ultimatum. We have way too much to talk about. And we do have a special guest next week that is going to be coming on the pod, the Bravo Babe on Instagram. I'm sure you guys have known her if you're Vanderpump Rules. And we will be going over next week's episode together.
Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe on our YouTube, as well as hit on the bell notification for seeing our videos first.
For our audio listeners, please rate and review. Give us 5 stars. Tell us how much you love us. Our ego doesn't need it, but we'll take it.
Email us at stopwearingmyclothespodcast@gmail.com, or you can leave us a voice message on the link below. Ask us any questions. Maybe you have some questions for me now that you heard my little story. So we would love to hear from you.
And then make sure to follow us on social media. We post several times a day. Keep you up to date on everything that's happening with reality television. It's at Stop Wearing My Clothes Pod on Instagram and TikTok, and Stop Wearing My on Twitter. We'll see you next time.
See ya!